Hello, students. I hope you're all doing well and holding up under these intense circumstances. I'm going to just talk a little bit about the syllabus revision that I posted, and then about As You Like It, Act Two. And so this might not be amazing. I haven't exactly written a script or practiced this out, but I just wanted to post something to get the conversation moving tomorrow when we meet on Zoom for the first actual class. So if you've already read through the syllabus, you can sort of skip ahead. But basically, this Google Doc that I linked you to is going to be kind of our Bible for the rest of the semester. And I like using it because I can add links to it, I can shift things around. I've already deleted one paper from the course assignments, so I'm sure you're all virtually applauding me right now. So I've made a bunch of adjustments, and that's just going to probably have to continue as we move forward. So I think it makes most sense to have a Google Doc. So just check this document, for anything you need if you're wondering what's happening the following week, or if I've posted another lecture like this. You'll find it here in the schedule down below, which I'll show you. We might sometimes have a Zoom class replaced with a discussion board. But we just need to have a central communication hub, and I think this Google Doc is maybe the best way to do that. And I also wanted to reiterate that I'm going to be very flexible in my grading. Just like a lot of professors, we've been talking about how these are kind of desperate times, and we are going to do our best to help you succeed in the class, given the technological constraints, given the anxiety and the stress that we're all feeling in this crisis pandemic situation. So I can't promise A's for everyone, but I can promise that if you show up on some level to the Zooms, to the discussion boards, and do the remaining readings as best you can, and complete the assignments, then you're going to get a good grade, and possibly a better grade than you would have with the in-person instruction. So you can feel happy about that. And just, yeah, I'm not out here to punish you for this online instruction thing that none of us signed up for. I saw Nancy, thank you for your nice post about on the course blog on Blackboard, if you just need kind of to air out some concerns. You're free to post on that blog. It's not graded. It's completely optional. So far, I don't think it's really taken off. So if it doesn't take off, that's fine. I won't take it personally. But if you have like articles or jokes or memes that you want to share about coronavirus or whatever you want, you can post them to that course blog, which I think is just listed as Corona course blog under the left-hand column in Blackboard. And let me know if you have any other suggestions about how best to support you. So here's our Zoom link for our class twice a week. You can just use the same link. It's not going to be a different meeting, so that's useful. You just save it in your phone or whatever in your calendar. And you can use phone or computer for Zoom. You can watch this tutorial by using Zoom for your phone if you haven't yet. And there are tutorials posted on the Zoom website for using Zoom on the desktop as well. So I think you can pretty much educate yourself about that technology, but let me know if you have questions and we'll also be figuring it out together. So here are some principles for using Zoom. You should be ready about 5 minutes before the beginning of class, like you would for a regular class. Show up so that we can start our class right at 2 p.m. And actually, this is no longer the case because BMCC has offered us a pro Zoom account. So I'm going to take that out of there, which is great. So the call is not going to expire after 40 minutes. Thanks, BMCC. Try to use the webcam. I know that this freaks some students out. And if that's you, or if you're just feeling self-conscious about your setting maybe, or your background, or you're home. I understand that. So you can keep the webcam off if you prefer, and then just use the audio functions and learn how to like raise your hand and type in the chat box and that kind of thing so you can still actively participate. But I would prefer that we move towards everyone using the webcam if you have the technology, just because, I want to know that you're not just like turning on the Zoom class and like falling asleep. Like you have to be present in class, and it's just a little hard to do that without video. But I know it probably feels a little uncomfortable for some of you, to begin with. Another principle, actually, I don't know if I mentioned this here, is you should probably keep yourself on mute when you're not talking. That just reduces background noise. I know some of you have kids in the house or animals, which, I do want to meet your animals. Here's my cat. I'm sure he'll be a frequent visitor. But, we want to be able to hear each other without too many distractions. So, oh yeah, keep yourself on mute when you're not speaking. There are some, if I think it's to click on the participants list and then like raise hand feature comes up. It was a little bit, yeah, participants at the bottom of the screen, but it seemed like different people were having different experiences with that. You should treat the Zoom classes as fairly professional. That is, like, I don't care if you're wearing pajamas or in your bed or whatever. Like, that's fine. We have to have some flexibility here, but you should have, the text in front of you. You should have a pen or a pencil handy. You should have a notebook so that you can take notes, because you need to treat it like a classroom. I recommend using gallery rather than speaker mode. If you were in the call last week, we talked about this, but basically I think it's better, again, for kind of the digital anxiety that some of us are feeling, to have everyone in kind of a Brady Bunch gallery mode where all our icons are featured on the screen, rather than when I start talking, my face blows up and you all see it. Like, that's kind of intimidating and scary, and I get that. So I recommend on the top right hand corner of your screen, you'll see it'll say speaker or gallery, and if you click gallery, it'll make it so that we're all kind of in an equal environment. And it has this fun chat function in Zoom, so you can ask questions or post emojis, sort of like we did with the back channel the one day in class. So as long as we keep it like fairly buttoned up so it's not too distracting or inappropriate or something like that, I think the chat function can be a good way to post questions that maybe you weren't able to raise, or if you aren't able, you can indicate that you have a question using the chat box. We can make that work for us. I've also just posted some updates to the academic calendar for you. So if you do end up withdrawing, you actually have until May to decide to do that. Or if you think you might be failing, which I hope you're not, you have until May to file for the non-credit feature, which you can talk to me more about if you don't know what that means. But basically, they've extended a lot of the deadlines for this school, so that's nice of them. Definitions, so we're going to be, you should learn these, write them down or whatever. Synchronous learning just means learning that happens at the same time, synchronously. So in the classroom or now on Zoom. So we are communicating at one set time, even though we're in different places. Asynchronous learning is the learning that happens for our class, not at the same time. So generally that would be like doing the readings, writing your papers at home. But now, as you know, we're going to have like a few extra features, such as lectures that I post like this one, or some discussion board assignments. And so in the reading schedule here, you can see that I've created 2 columns so that you know that before this class, you're supposed to have done this thing. Does that make sense? So these are little extra assignments, and sometimes your major assignments that you need to have completed before we meet on Zoom, which this is the synchronous category on the right-hand side. Yeah, but it also, asynchronous learning always does include the assigned reading, so I don't even include that in the right-hand column. Assignments and grading. I've adjusted this a little bit, so we're going to have another recitation assignment, which I think will be fun just because you enjoyed the Macbeth one, and now we can do it over Zoom. It is something that's kind of individualized, so shouldn't cause us too many problems. You can look at the schedule below to see when that will be happening. So we'll just be the same kind of thing. You find a passage from As You Like It that you that strikes you, speaks to you in some way, and then we'll just go around our little Zoom icons and perform it and say a few words about what you think it means. Then I think I'm going to have you post onto the discussion board an analysis of it. We'll talk more about that. This is the canceled paper, so again, you're welcome. Now I've just sort of toggled around some of these percentages. So participation is worth a lot now. It's worth like 30%. That just means showing up. And if you've already participated in February, then, and that's attendance as well. Reading, we've already had a couple quizzes. One quiz? Two quiz? I don't even know. So that's only 10%. We'll see how that goes. And then I am going to try to have some kind of group performance remotely, social distancing performance, because I think that's really important for Shakespeare. So we are going to have to think about, like, either you write it, maybe you create a podcast or design a possible production that you would do even if you don't actually do it. I think we'll talk about as a group about how to make this work remotely as it gets closer to the end of the semester. And then you just have a final research paper. Okay, so today or tomorrow, whatever day you're watching this, March 19th, we're going to be talking about Acts 2 and 3 somehow in 50 minutes. Yeah, that's going to work. And this is the YouTube lecture that I refer to here, which is clearly now becoming just an introduction to the class rather than a lecture on As You Like It. So I'm going to post a lecture number 2 after this. And AYLI means As You Like It. This is just the revised reading schedule. And if you have any questions, you can just, like, do this, add a comment. I can't find it. Something like, and then I can see the comment. So don't be shy about asking questions in this document, although you can't actually change the document. You can just ask questions. And yeah, we're going to do final paper outlines in class. I think this is it for the syllabus. So I'm going to pause this, and I lied. I didn't end up talking about As You Like It. So I'm going to post one more video after this where I actually talk about Shakespeare. Thanks for watching.